the Lulu ban as well there by Impulse, just to push Dyrus onto something else straight away. Even if they were able to kill him early, he just farmed up and was a supporter in the later game fights.
Yeah, true. Gotta see what else Dyrus can do in this champion. Lulu seems to work with their lax top focus from TSM. Of course, he had held up just fine in the one-on-one before. Impulse, we want to see what they're able to pick for themselves in this one. Solomid not showing anything new so far, and they've left both solos up for grabs. So Impulse maybe not wanted to blind pick either of these matchups.
They're taking their time on these, but yeah, Rush back on Lee Sin. Adrian, he had been playing Nautilus pretty well, but one thing we noticed with his Nautilus initiations, the delayed nature of it. When it was a telegraphed onto this target and TSM ran back and then could get disengaged by the Grog Assault, the Leona ult is much faster, and it's something that Impulse is able to act on. That's one of the main strengths of their team.
Yeah, plus we saw a couple canceled autos, and Leona, you don't have to cancel because you can Q, it resets your auto, you're gonna get the stun off for melee range. So every split second counts with Team Impulse because they initiate so quickly. Leona does seem like a nice speed upgrade.
Yeah, honestly, I think Impulse, this duo lane right here they pick is the best duo lane I've seen them play as players and as a team overall. The Sivir Leona going to be strong. TSM, no Lilyfine will play Maokai, no big deal. And Wildturtle playing a new look, looking to win lane with Lucian here.
I feel like a Vlad pick in the top lane against Dyrus' Maokai could be likely. Definitely not. They're going with TF. Oh boy.
Here's a strategy that they wanted to run all along since the quarterfinals. Gravity Band, Twisted Fate away every single time. Impulse is going to get that mid lane Twisted Fate. That's where the Cassio ban came through.
Flash Ghost already from XiaoWeiXiao. Switching over very quickly. Let's see how well Impulse use this global map pressure. Not only do they have Twisted Fate to create picks, but Sivir can boost up the rest of the team to follow up on those picks. So it's not going to just be one pick. They pick somebody off, and then they chase you down for a whole lot more.
Rush is going to be jumping around everywhere as well. Like, that is a really scary pressure team composition. It is very much what Impulse is built to do as a team, just from a player perspective, not even a champion perspective, but now the champions fit it too.
Thing is, TSM are built to counter this.
Yep.
But mid lane focus. What you do against TF is you attack him early with the jungler. Gragas, even though it's a Cinder Hulk jungler, does have early pressure. So the old Santorin Bjergsen duo, this synergy, that's what needs to come back up for TSM. They need to go back to their roots to try and take down Impulse.
Yeah, the LeBlanc Gragas is maybe the scariest duo mid you could have in the game right now. LeBlanc oftentimes, she wins lane because she has such amazing gank assistance. Ganking for that lane is incredibly easy. They can combo off each other so well. XiaoWeiXiao has to be very cowardly in that lane early on, it almost feels like. And this should be a really great matchup.
All right, it's going to be a whole bunch of fun then. Bjergsen looking to disrupt XiaoWeiXiao's Twisted Fate, a champion he's only very rarely been allowed to play here in the LCS playoffs. Dyrus' second string top lane going to be Maokai. We can see how much that champion pool is tested. And Impact playing a tank for himself in the top lane. It is not Smite on that Gnar up there. And it's going to be a very fun Game 3 series tied up 1-1 as we go live with this game. Keep us up to date with your predictions. Tweet hashtag TIP winner, hashtag TSM win to @LOL Esports on Twitter. You see the team comps on your screen. Impulse looking to make a lot of very aggressive early game plays. Solomid looking to disrupt all those guys. Game 3 in the best of 5 is coming up. Who's headed to the finals? Going to find out in the next 2 or 3 games.
Oftentimes in these best of 5 series, you see a team's true colors after a loss. TSM lost in Game 1, went back to hyper carry back up on Wildturtle with pressure in the mid lane from Bjergsen Zari. Impulse was switching things up from Games 1 and 2, but because they lost, immediately rushed back onto Lee Sin, Adrian back onto Leona, and the team looking to make a lot of plays around the map.
What do you do when you're down? Immediately return to comfort champions. Heard that a lot yesterday as well. So this is the first time Impulse not coming out with the same just line of scrimmage start. They're going to run straight into a sapling though, so.
All right, Dyrus.
It will be deep wards though, because they still have five characters strong here. So they can make those deep wards that we have not seen so far for the Lane swap identification.
All right. Both wards get seen. Those are always within vision.
There's been a ton of mind games between the junglers this series. Santorin and Rush always trying to mess each other up. Last game we kind of saw the explosion of it.
Oh, Apollo.
He would be in trouble.
But no one's around.
It's a heady play by Dyrus there. But also, because of that invade and because of Dyrus sapling spawn, he can't pull off any cuteness with Maokai early on in the game. A lot of times Maokai will like to stack saplings, take a camp, hit level 2, especially if he's going to be forced into a lane swap or a difficult 1v1.
Well, it looks like as far as lane swaps are concerned, they are going to be almost a 2-on-2 as Impact round to the bottom lane, but Apollo says, you know what, we saw Lucian heading up there. Get us out of this lane, and I agree. It's a really tough duo lane to beat for Team Impulse. So they will swap away. Impact helps Rush start with red buff, and they can maybe go for their second buff, the enemy blue.
This is also a red buff start because Rush knows that the lane swap wards are down, and he doesn't actually want to give away his jungle opening, which he would have if he goes for the Krugs.
Very smart stuff there. Well, lane swap is the name of the game. Santorin going to walk all the way to the top side of the jungle right away. Does not want to get stolen from.
See, there's an interesting choice here for Rush. Does he decide to go the safe route and just go into the strong side of the jungle where they have a ward? Or does he continue the double jungle over into his own blue side and then possibly make a move to head off Santorin? Looks like he's going to try and grab up their own blue buff first.
Yeah, I would say actually, because TSM was not able to meet that top lane wave, this is not the most ideal lane swap formation for Impulse, since the lane is, I don't think it's freezing up in that top lane perfectly.
It's really hard for Santorin to just inherently call this. Lustboy's looking to make a roam. Okay. Well, they're going mid lane focus. Even earlier than I expected, actually. But XiaoWeiXiao expected it, had an early ward there, and that venture mid does mean that Rush is able to pick up that blue buff. A little bit of the greed pays off this time for Team Impulse. And Rush with the double buff. Oh, that one's not going to pay off.
1v2 body slam flay, and maybe the death sentence over the wall. Lustboy does not guess correctly.
They are getting a lot of damage down onto Dyrus. And because of the damage they did to Rush, they're thinking of doing a turret dive. I'm surprised Impulse is respecting this so heavily by backing away. Now there's no turret to save them.
Flash forced by Rush because the ignite from Lustboy. Yeah, 2-on-3. These guys unwilling to defend it at all.
Meanwhile, Dyrus can teleport back into the turret. So TSM, 3 lanes of experience being absorbed at the moment. Impulse shoved off.
That explains that they were afraid of the Dyrus teleport. He'd been able to recall back from getting pressured, and it would have been a 4-on-2 under the turret. So,
yep.
There's the respect from Impulse. Good communication there to realize, and just, you know, good heads-up play. But it means top lane turret's going to get pressured very heavily by Team Solomid right now.
Yeah, really strong early game so far from TSM. Impulse having to react a little bit to it with the late arrival in top lane from Impact. The slight over-aggression with Rush going back at the Gromp and taking a bunch of damage just allowed some small windows of opportunity for TSM here. And you can see that with a 500 gold early advantage.
Wow, gigantic early lead. Turret health also very big in their favor. Top lane for Team Impulse, nearly dead. Bottom lane for TSM, practically full.
Also, XiaoWeiXiao in the mid lane. You can see only CSing with the wild cards, not moving up because he has no vision so early in the game. They lost track of Gragas, so he's playing it very, very safe.
But it's pushed out as the problem. Bjergsen's culling the way very cleanly, which means XiaoWeiXiao can only see us from the mid lane, even with his Q. Adrian looks for the pressure on Wildturtle, gets the stun. The nice double hop comes in as well. Ignite is burned. One more hit would pop Hyper, but Impact not going to hit it.
So, again, focus mid lane here. They've got the pink ward already setting up this gank. Is XiaoWeiXiao playing safe enough?
Nice dodge in the chain.
Using his ghost right as he saw Lustboy, which gave him the mobility to dodge the chain. Saves him from either having to burn both summoner spells or dying altogether.
Danger ping goes down, but top lane does not react. The roam from TSM gonna get there in time for Adrian.
That's a really good boomerang toss, though. Impact catches. Yeah,
that was cute. He jumped on Adrian to cover more distance.
Yeah.
Top laner support synergy. Gnar is actually pretty good in 2v2 lanes.
Yeah.
As a pseudo AD carry.
I remember Nidalee used to be one of the better 1v2s back when she was a bit of a top laner, just because she was able to be ranged and kind of hit things from far away. Long-range skill shot to get CS, long-range auto attacks to get some as well. So far, so good for him. TSM, that lead has actually shrunk pretty significantly, actually, down to 200 here. Of course, a couple of waves still on the map makes that a bit of an awkward measure.
Uh-oh, he's going to miss one of these at least.
Nothing he could do.
Hurts your soul, Phreak.
Hurt
No, it's way more than that.
Hurt XiaoWeiXiao more than that. This guy lives to farm.
Sure.
All right, he is level 6 though, so while he does live to farm, now he's built to gank.
Mercury Tread's first item on TF as well. He is a defensive TF, to say the least. He's got to dodge the skill shots, and also if he takes one, he's trying to give him that tenacity early on in the game.
Well, it's the best way to get himself extra move speed. He's at 397 before any other augmentations there, so at least some extra move speed from Runes and Masteries. Impact does not lose his recall.
I can't remember the last time I saw a mid laner build Mercury Tread as his first item.
Yeah. Anytime Keen played mid Hecarim, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, because he'd always rush home guards.
True.
But
will XiaoWeiXiao also rush home guards?
Oh god.
There's always the chance.
The home guard TF gank.
Not horrible, I suppose, but either way, definitely an uphill battle right now for Team Impulse's mid laner. Bjergsen going in pretty hard, thankfully for XiaoWeiXiao. He misses the chain.
Chugging on his flask as well. Definitely going to need to use that renewable resource. Stick in this lane and stay close in CS. He's doing a pretty good job considering how safe he's played and how many visits, not only Santorin, but also Lustboy made.
Oh yeah.
Did.
And he's missing Ghost right now, so a summoner disadvantage for him as well. XiaoWeiXiao, just the hydro-powered flask, the renewable resources, in comes it. Wow, again. XiaoWeiXiao so far reading Bjergsen well and dodging the chains. On the guessing game so far, TSM have guessed mostly wrong. The hook over the wall when they went for Rush a while back, the 2 chains so far, but at some point Impulse luck will run out. And these kills might start coming through pretty soon for TSM.
Yeah. Maybe the most surprising thing is that we have not seen Rush on our screens in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Really of the laning phase here. I mean, the Lee Sin, the classic Rush, not there in the early game. Right now, though, he's got focus on vision. Picked up a couple of wards on his back. See if he can actually get XiaoWeiXiao the control that he needs in mid lane to free up the TF to make a move.
I feel like the lane swap set Rush back a fair bit. When Santorin caught him and burned his flash, it took the aggression right out of Rush's early game, not wanting to make a big mistake that sets his team back. He'd already been caught by Santorin once during some counter jungling and didn't want to let it happen again.
Attempt mid number 7.
Bring the house!
Oh, the hook is going to land. Also, the Gragas is going to land. Pretty much everything. XiaoWeiXiao flayed in, flashes the wall. In comes Santorin for another attempt. The Ignite. Going to get the kill over to Lustboy. The fight still continuing. Teleport comes in from the TSM top laner. Adrian in a pretty bad spot. Flashed over, but still caught up by Dyrus. Eclipse not going to give enough durability. 2 kills over to Team Solomid. Bjergsen's LeBlanc definitely off the ground.
That, I don't know what the reason for that aggressive move from XiaoWeiXiao was to move up towards Thresh for the stun card. He had been dodging previously when Bjergsen all-in'd him towards Bjergsen to make him miss the chain from LeBlanc, but Lustboy throws it directly at his face, and XiaoWeiXiao steps right in. Cost his team a lot of control mid.
A lot of more control mid as Rush gets taken down. XiaoWeiXiao shows up, but Dyrus on a lantern gets away pretty cleanly. Impact fairly close to Mega Gnar, but taking a lot of damage. He's not tanking it. It's a Hex Drinker Gnar. Boomerang Blade gets Lustboy low, but no follow-up for Impulse.
Mid lane pressure is the name of the game for TSM here. It's what you do against Twisted Fate. We haven't seen Twisted Fate come out in a while, but TSM is not missing a beat delivering this camp of the mid lane. It's the only way they get a numbers advantage is if they can take down Twisted Fate first, and they are exploiting that right now.
He had done such a good job, though. He had already popped the Ghost. He could easily dodge a max range Thresh hook, yet he runs straight forward. It wasn't even... XiaoWeiXiao was handling the pressure very well up until that point.
You know, we asked if TSM could adapt well to the new meta, the Smite top laners. How many jungle camps can you take down? Well, there's one extra camp for TSM. It's the mid lane camp, and these players very good at getting to that one. So far, they have smited XiaoWeiXiao.
Former NFL punter and LoL analyst with some predictions before that first game, and now calling this one for TSM in Game 3.
Hey, so far it's good. Just pull a dash and, you know, put in your predictions most way through the series.
And then, well, that
Get it
was
wrong.
wrong yesterday. That's the unfortunate part. This one, though, 2,500 gold on the side of TSM, on top of the stacked deck bonus that XiaoWeiXiao gets on Twisted Fate, which is free gold.
Solomid is still very far ahead here.
Because we've been focused so heavily on the mid lane, we haven't really talked about Dyrus this game. On Maokai, on the tank, took the Lulu ban. He's up a large margin. Take a look at this dragon, though. He doesn't have teleport, just down there tanking it, and he's able to grab the objective for the team.
Yep, it's
The lane swaps here for TSM.
It's basically that. TSM won the lane swap early on, and that's allowing them to focus the mid lane since they don't have to worry about Dyrus at all this game. XiaoWeiXiao is in so much trouble.
The Wolves save XiaoWeiXiao from the chain, meaning he lives through the ignite of Lustboy, but TSM underneath the turret still not able to get shoved around. These guys own the map right here. TSM looks like they're going to push in for mid-outer, and there is very little response from Impulse.
Yeah, they're definitely behind the ball right now, Team Impulse. Santorin has the Trailblazer as well, so he benefits greatly just from that one little skirmish with Rush that set him behind. Because he went with the Chilling Smite, much harder to farm. They've both committed to... a XiaoWeiXiao again.
Adrian tanks one for the team. He's going to take a whole bunch of damage. Nice three-man stun, but will it be enough? Maybe? Yeah, he chipped into the culling, but he still goes down.
There's never enough people there for Team Impulse. TSM always outnumbering them. Gnar off in the top lane. Twisted Fate can never teleport into these fights because he is always the one being collapsed upon. And it is just going from bad to worse for Impulse here. TSM is playing this game textbook.
I mean, they take the mid lane turret and they immediately set up wards all around the middle of the map and circle around while they know that Impulse have not had the time to set up vision to compensate for the lack of turret mid.
The Warrior Enchant Lee Sin really not having an early impact as well, so everything that Team Impulse bet themselves on so far really not working. Solomid doing an amazing job of pushing around Impulse and not letting anything go well. Apollo's getting farm. He's up 23 CS, but Sivir's not exactly Jinx or Kog'Maw. It's not like the gold's going to make her a ridiculous late game here.
Yeah, it's a 1,000 gold advantage for both Santorin and Bjergsen over their counterparts. And we know that Santorin and Bjergsen have awesome synergy when TSM runs that mid lane priority, which conveniently is the ideal thing to shut down the strength of this Team Impulse composition. Everything is just going to plan for TSM this game.
Yeah, Dyrus as well, up 1,000 gold over Impact.
That's the big X factor. That's the reason this game is getting so out of hand, because we're used to Bjergsen and Santorin if they focus on mid to get mid going.
Yeah, they're supposed to have their gold leads.
Yeah. Dyrus and Turtle are a bonus.
Well, yeah, I mean, Impact and Rush are supposed to have their gold leads too, and yet here we have a game where Rush hasn't done anything except die this game, and Impact getting the worst end of the lane swap is still very far behind Dyrus. So, gold lead once again. Team Solomid last game, we're able to cash that one in pretty cleanly. Rush Nation's team fight won him the game off of Baron buff.
Rush looks like he's trying to force a move up top. Now, Dyrus, very tanky at this point, has built early armor, and it just feels like this is going to be a very hard play to pull off. Patience, though. They are just going to wait in that bush for a long, long time. Dyrus also has flash, by the way.
Woo. Ooh, one bolt away from dying. TF ult comes in. Looks like top lane
on top
is the focus. Dyrus has the ulti on Impact, not even close to Mega Gnar, and he gets out with just a flash. Rush even kicked him.
Yeah.
And they lose complete mid lane pressure after that because XiaoWeiXiao committed for it. Not only did they have their jungler camp in that top lane brush, but they also committed their mid lane teleport, the first real TF gank, and TSM punished them for it.
Wow, absolutely nothing done. This Impulse lineup falling flat very heavily. Team Solomid pressuring everywhere around the map. You gank 3 top, will kill bot lane and mid lane for this one. Wildturtle looking to bounce the wave off the turret kill.
This is quite a performance by TSM throughout.
Oh, bit of damage. Impact will switch back to Gnar, which will give him some % health damage, maybe on the chase toward Dyrus. It's a flashless Maokai. Impact has his, but no other help left around. Rush very caught. He has nowhere to go. Bounced around by everybody. Bjergsen gets the kill. Rampage for the mid laner of TSM.
All the ults for Rush right there because TSM is free to go wherever they want. If I'm looking at this from Impulse's perspective, sometimes when you're preparing heavily for a lot of best of fives, which Impulse had to do, a best of 5 against Gravity and a best of 5 against TSM, and you have a strategy that you think is your ace in the hole because it works so well in practice, which honestly, based on the bans that Gravity had levied at Impulse and their confidence with his Twisted Fate comp, I think Impulse thought this was their best team.
I agree.
Also, TSM threw out the bait in that first game by banning the Twisted Fate and being like, oh yeah, we're scared of it too. But maybe this whole time, if you think you have a team comp that is your best, you oftentimes don't practice it as much as your other things because you think it is reliable. But what appears to be happening this time for Team Impulse, A, they're not used to things going wrong with the team comp, and B, even their early game strat didn't seem very well measured because they have no answer for this Gragas LeBlanc.
I don't really feel like this is a comp issue. I feel like these are mistakes that were made by Impulse early in the game that have led them to this situation.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of that does have to do, though, if they think this is their best team comp, how many Twisted Fate games has XiaoWeiXiao actually been getting in? How much has Rush actually been practicing Lee Sin recently versus Nunu? Yes, they are some of their best champions that they feel like they can fall back onto, but the individual play is not following through with this. The comp is fine, but they are getting outplayed.
Now TSM doing an amazing job with their play to keep Impulse down, and the result of all that is a 5,000 gold lead at 17 minutes. Team Solomid have aggressive pink wards. They got aggressive stealth wards here. They've got a ton of vision control. Well, Apollo pops ulti because he's just afraid of getting hit.
And spell shields.
Ulti hits Lustboy. They can stun up the TSM support. Ulti comes in. Oh my god, they lock up the entire TSM lineup. That's a 1 for 0. Will there be more? Adrian is no longer tanky. As look at the damage coming through. 2 more kills picked up for Solomid, and XiaoWeiXiao forced one away. Can't for long. It's a 3-1 for TSM. Maybe it'll be 4.
Wow. Impulse committed super hard for that one on TSM, and you can't blame them. They needed to try and create something. TSM just so far ahead.
Yeah, I think that's going to be Dragon number 2 for TSM. Ooh, going to take the red buff as well. Big bonus there for Wildturtle. He's getting right back into this game, evened up his CS. TSM looking very, very strong in game number 3.
Quick dash over the wall. Dragon going to be secured with no problems whatsoever. Team Solomid looking at now a 7,000 gold lead 18 minutes in. One of the biggest leads we've ever seen in the North American LCS. It's a rare form to see a gold lead this big.
Interestingly enough, Impulse had a similar gold lead against Gravity in their first best of 5. The first game, actually. To be on the other side of that coin must not be nice for Impulse. Yeah, double flash by Adrian and XiaoWeiXiao to try and start this fight off because they had Mega Gnar. So timing-wise, this would have been a great fight to take for Impulse, if not for the giant gold deficit. Dyrus was completely unkillable when he TP'd in here, and the chase from Lucian LeBlanc was enough to destroy Impulse.
Yeah, they were able to take out one member of TSM, but the one member was Lustboy, the Thresh.
We did it.
Yeah.
I mean, and you had mentioned how far ahead some of the TSM members were. The 2 first targets focused were kind of tanks. And, you know, like, you look at Lustboy's gold, he's got as much gold, by the way, as Rush or Impact. Like, that's a fairly beefy Thresh, all things considered.
Yeah, he wants to be on the front line. Look at him, he's building a righteous glory.
Yeah. Yeah. Already got one on Santorin. Want to add more engaged power. Team Solomid able to get whatever they want started. Mid lane tier 2 goes down for Lustboy, so you might knock down bottom outer, but a better and bigger turret goes down in TSM's favor. Things continually going the red team's way.
Makes this series so interesting. The mind game sometimes of being blue side versus red side right here. TSM staying on red side to try to get the red side sweep with their red side strats here on the back side of the series. Now they go for Baron with pink ward control. No Twisted Fate ultimate up. Also, with the last game being prepped, of TSM always just getting picks around the Baron pit,
yeah.
Impulse is terrified to walk into their own jungle.
Well, they're not even going to really try. Team Solomid picks up the 20-minute and 27-second Baron, and even still they can go for the picks. Adrian barely dodges the hook. And out they go, one of the fastest Barons ever. Well, in this year, yeah. I mean, he used to spawn 8 minutes, so, yeah. I mean, in the history of League of Legends, slow, but...
I like it, I like it. The consistency of TSM, though, showing through here.
Yeah.
I mean, not only do they get an advantage out of the lane swap, which historically Impulse. Obviously, they're a new team that came together. They had a lot of problems with lane swaps early on. But the best of 5 series, we expected TSM to take hits early. They usually actually take hits early on in best of 5 series, and then they adapted them later on. Throughout this game, they knew exactly what they were getting themselves into. A global teleport mid laner. Just continue to attack it.
And it's the second game in a row that Team Solomid have opted to counter-pick mid lane for Bjergsen, give him an assassin in a good matchup, get the pressure lead over the enemy mid laner, and lo and behold, Solomid doing quite well for themselves. Bjergsen 5-0 in this game. And mid lane turret nearly dying to the Baron buff.
I mean, Impulse's coach talked about trying to keep morale up for these guys. He needs to start thinking about that 5 or 10 minutes ago, because this game is really getting out of hand. And honestly, Impulse needs to be thinking about their game 4 plans for a lot of this. It is nice to not consider yourself out of the game or anything, but their window for Twisted Fate to be effective with global pressure is long gone.
And here comes a hard engage. Inhibitor turret goes down. There's the dive. Lee Sin already gone. Adrian gonna follow him soon into the death chambers. And now Apollo, nice spell to keep himself up. Impact gets a stun, but it's a 3 versus 5. There's just no damage left. And in comes the hook. XiaoWeiXiao gonna fall. Apollo, the last one down. And an ace for Team Solomid inside of Impulse's base.
And they have Baron plus a minion wave. This could be a sub-23-minute victory for TSM.
Talk about speed wreckers, Phreak. This one is definitely up there this season.
Man, all right. Well, put them on Summer Games done quick, because Team Solomid looking to get a 22-45 second Nexus turret down. But the respawns are so darn quick that they're going to try to fight Rush while fighting the base. And this could be actually Team Impulse holding their base alive for now.
Our hopes of the record still alive.
Oh, wow. Rush's
there's
game
more.
Is not getting any better right here.
Do it. He does. Hey! Bjergsen lives. Oh, the wild card gets him. In comes Impact. Team Impulse are not done. Wildturtle goes down. Lustboy is sure to follow once Gold Card comes back up. XiaoWeiXiao shows him how it's done, and Lustboy gets taken out. Dragon's up in a minute, though. Impulse, nothing much to do. Bot lane is open, maybe.
Even with all those shutdowns, 10,000 gold. 2 Dragons to 0. It's a nice relief of the pressure by Team Impulse, but as far as the overall impact of this game, it would take about 3 more of those in order to turn the game around.
Yeah. Rush trying to walk away. Dyrus says nope. Takes down 1, 2, and they're going to chain on this.
Once again, these are fights that wouldn't be awful for Impulse if it wasn't for the giant gold lead. Grog assaulting a Mega Gnar back into your team near a wall doesn't seem like the best thing to do.
Yeah, Turtle had to flash.
10 health to a minion. XiaoWeiXiao calculated.
Living on the edge.
Easy. Well,
got to make things exciting.
Even the minions are dangerous for Team Impulse inside their base. Waves are going to take a while, of course. Those in Nexus turrets will never respawn, so always a threat of pressure, always a threat of split push here. They got to wait another 3 minutes for their inhibitor to come back up, but Dragon's already on the field. There's a lot TSM can do. There we go, taking down Wildturtle, solos it. Bonus movement speed, and the next target looks to be bottom lane.
And if Impulse tries to defend this turret, I feel like the game ends. Yeah, they lose their Nexus. Because TSM can dive in behind the turret with a Maokai, follow up with the Gragas ultimate, and Dyrus would be tanky enough to go in between that turret, I feel like.
Well, here's all 5 of Solomid. And they will go and knock down that bottom tier 2. Bjergsen always buys that pretty early blue elixir. Gives him even more turret killing power. Nice to see for him. And now for inhibitor number 2. A turret under fire. TSM go in. Bjergsen chunks out Adrian to 1/3. And they will not quite get the follow-up damage. Santorin gets a lantern out. He stays safe. But Impact down to 1/4 health himself. Wildcards wave clear a little bit. Solomid can nearly one-shot the backline. Hook on Impact. Oh. The culling almost takes him out. So many near kills for TSM. But it's actually Wildturtle who goes down. Big mid-lane minion wave coming in, though. TSM forced to run.
Honestly, the Wildcards did a lot of work there for Tip as they were defending that Where's XiaoWeiXiao gonna go? Suicide! No,
Goes in a little bit too late, and the hook's not going to catch him. Rush comes in for Lustboy. A couple more attacks will do him in. But Bjergsen going to be close to getting this kill. Puts in the Q. Doesn't quite get it. Ignite won't take him out either. And it's 2 kills for Team Impulse. They've got to go back and defend. And it's their tank, Adrian, who's sitting there wailing on minions, trying to keep it alive with impact.
Santorin is still not died either. Santorin 0-0-12 here. Only missed out on 2 kills from TSM.
Wants it, XiaoWeiXiao! Oh my god!
Oh, they killed him!
He got back on XiaoWeiXiao, but hey, worth it, IMO.
It's getting a little sloppy for TSM,
yeah.
Honestly. They thought the game was going to be over at 22 minutes, and this has been a minor problem during the regular season before for TSM as well, where the game extended beyond the point where it should. Here, the main part of this fight was actually earlier when Santorin took a bunch of turret damage and blew his ultimate, meaning there's no disengage for Team Impulse when this happens. Rush with a great kick, Apollo with a great flash auto, and then once again, no Gragas ultimate to engage or disengage. Chasing in as well, Bjergsen does have to respect the gold card when it's pulled, has to get out of there right away, and the chase from Twisted Fate was respected when Lustboy mistimed his hook.
Bjergsen forced to flash away. A little bit of cleanup for fun.
Yeah, TSM really do need to regroup before going into the next game. Yes, they've won 2 in a row versus Impulse here, but only 1 game.
So gonna rush. Goodbye.
Speaking of having to regroup, Rush's had a rough time.
Rush has had a very
1-6-2. Every once in a while, we see Rush start a game with a whole lot of deaths.
And that's what happens when you have this playstyle, right? When things go poorly early, and you keep trying to force it, they're gonna get worse and worse.
Yeah, my made-up stat for it is 80%. It works 80% of the time. This is the one game in the BO5 you're allowed to have this, because you're now get your backs up against the wall. Team Impulse in a really bad spot this game. 99% of the times they do lose this one. TSM looking to close this one out and make it a 2-1 scoreline in this best of 5. XiaoWeiXiao getting chased out. And mid lane about to get knocked down soon as well. XiaoWeiXiao gets caught out by Dyrus. He could be a kill, and he is. Dyrus solos him from 1/4 health, and now Impulse missing their mid laner, missing their wave clear. Here comes the push that might win the game. No turrets left on this path. Rush down to 1/3. Santorin is hello. Impact is Mega Gnar.
Nexus is open, guys.
But yeah, it's an open Nexus. In he goes. Knocks him into the team. A little bit of damage comes through. The tankies are pretty big, though, and Apollo's going to be killed. Wildturtle does trade back. AD carries are gone, but it's still a 3 versus 4 in TSM's favor. Down goes Impact. 4 versus 2. And now, to the Nexus they go to close the game out. 29 minutes. Team Solomid now 1 game away from their 5th consecutive North American LCS Finals.